McDonald. What's Sinn Féin's view?
Well, I suppose the first thing to say to the questioner is, of course, that we've had a no vote. That's the first thing to say, and it's just been very disheartening to see the government reaction to that. It's very clear that this is a government that's incapable of listening, incapable of championing change, of leadership and of delivering. And I think it's a very worrying thing that just 6 months after the Irish people spoken, and the people are sovereign on these matters, that the government has made it clear that they weren't prepared to pitch for a renegotiation. They weren't prepared in a serious way to pitch for the concerns of Irish people to be addressed, but that they would move. Disheartening to see the government reaction to that. It's very clear that this is a government that's incapable of listening, incapable of championing change, of leadership and of delivering. And I think it's a very worrying thing that just 6 months after the Irish people spoken, and the people are sovereign on these matters, that the government has made it clear that they weren't prepared to pitch for a renegotiation. They weren't prepared in a serious way to pitch for the concerns of Irish people to be addressed, but that they would move heaven and earth to get Lisbon through. Well, we set that out very clearly, John, once the referendum failed, and we gave to the government not abstract notions or vague generalities. We gave them concrete proposals up to and including wordings. As the Minister would know, we passed that document on to them. And what was very clear is
this much. But the wordings that Lisbon had been negotiated by all other countries. It had taken 7 years to deliver. Why should they be listening to Sinn Féin's preferred view of the world as it ought to be?
Well, John, it's not a case of listening to Sinn Féin's view. The fact is that the Irish people voted this proposition down, and the fact is that clear and substantive issues were identified and that those needed to be addressed. And in a bid to be constructive, we offered to the government concrete proposals as to how that might be done. Now, in response to that, the government has actually sat on their hands. They did a last-minute sort of whistle-stop tour of the capitals, but at no stage did they make a serious attempt to actually change the treaty. And bear in mind that for any of these issues to be resolved, that is what needs to happen. So as we sit in studio this evening, we're clear on only one thing, and that is that there will be another referendum. It will happen sometime before next October, and that the same question and the same proposition will be put to the people. And I simply don't accept that Irish people have to be kind of hamstrung in the way that other speakers have suggested, that you hang this threat over people, that if you don't accept this proposition that we'll be isolated and marginalised and so on. That smacks to me of an argument that is our way or no way, and it's profoundly undemocratic.
The argument is, doesn't no mean no, Minister?